What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be talking about not giving a crap what others think. First off, I do have to say though that this is something that there's a certain degree of logic behind it. Most people are actually quite self-conscious and they care what others think about them. Um, and I found that a lot of people who are very confident, very successful with girls, they don't give a crap what others think about them. It's the same thing with business. They don't, if in business, successful people, if they have something down and they are sure about what's going to happen in the future, they don't really care what other people tell them in regards to whether they're right or wrong. And it's the same thing just in dating in general. Now, again, there is a certain degree of truth in the fact that you have to have some sort of sense of what others think about you, because if you had no sense whatsoever, then you'd be doing crazy stuff and you'd have no calibration. I guess the biggest example I could give would be there's this one guy who I met when I was working. I was working at a kitchen store a couple years ago, and he was like very clearly in special ed. There's something wrong with him, and the one thing was that he did really quirky stuff, but he didn't give a crap what others thought about him. Now, did this make him confident? One could say yes, it did. But at the same time, it didn't make him attractive. He was doing really quirky, weird crap. Um, I would say the things I could remember were he was like screaming and shouting out weird, untangible words that weren't actually words at times. Um, and I'm painting a picture of this guy being really weird and stuff, but he really wasn't. He was a chill dude, quite awesome, but every like 5 to 10 minutes, something really weird would happen. But other than that, the rest of the 9 minutes were, he was very chill. But again, he says some weird stuff, and occasionally he blurted out some really strange phrases about like butterflies and stuff like that. And yeah, he didn't give a crap what others thought, which in certain ways leads to confidence. But again, this builds into my theory that confidence isn't the only thing you need, and you'll find a lot of different videos on YouTube alone, on articles on websites that are contrary to this. They pretty much say confidence is all you need. All you need is freaking confidence, and girls will flock to you. And yeah, I guess I relate to that example with my friend from the kitchen store as an example. Um, it's very important that you shouldn't give a crap what others think, but if you don't have some grain of calibration to it, then you're just going to be doing a lot of quirky stuff that you're never going to be able to fix. So if you're one of those people who care too much what other people think, like me, quite recently, I still have a lot of work to do on it. Pretty much what happened was, I was sitting in a lounge, and there's like some strangers who came in, and they went on like a racist rant, and I was just like really like influenced by it. And basically they started like making racist jokes just jokingly for fun. And then eventually I talked to my friend Thaddeus about it, and a few others, and they're like, you give too much of a crap what other people think, not just in this, in all the other things that you've mentioned before. And I think it's true. A year ago I would walk around, and oftentimes when people would laugh, I would, like it or not, assume they were like making fun of me. Now it's like I hear that and it still sometimes pops in, but I immediately rewire my brain and I'm like, they're not making fun of me. They don't even know me. And I guess a lot of it's ingrained in my past experiences. Like, first, if you don't have anything to be made fun of, then you don't think like this. And so, I guess it's a lot of experiences in the past that will sort of condition you in this way. So you really have to rewire your brain and then fix anything you're doing that's causing this. And some things are unfixable. Like if your ethnicity is Asian, even the best plastic surgeon is not going to change that. Um, you really have to just be content with that. And that's one thing that a lot of people get wrong. They're constantly chasing something that's unfixable. They're like, oh, if I only had this, if I can just get this, then I wouldn't care what other people thought about me. And some things you can't fix. You just have to be content with it. And quite honestly, looking back, those guys in the study lounge, they were just dudes having a good time. They weren't being harshly racist or anything like that. And Thaddeus, he actually brought up how one of um, his friend was a black guy, and he was super confident and didn't give a crap what other people thought about him. And this guy, someone brought up that someone made a joke about lynching, and this guy didn't even flinch. He didn't even give a crap. Um, and I guess it comes down to like, if you're successful in different avenues of life, these like jokes and stuff, they're just jokes. Like, why are you putting so much pressure onto them? Um, and I think that's the ideal situation. Like, you shouldn't give a crap what other people think about you when you say stuff. You shouldn't be self-conscious. Um, and most people, I don't think, are there. They are they're at a level of self anxiety um, that's probably better than mine, um, but still not to that level. In certain avenues, I think I am like at that level, but in other avenues, I'm not. I guess one of them is just not giving a crap when I'm talking to someone one on one. Even if I just met them, like there's a lot of like social freedom in talking to people that a lot of people are very anxious about. Like um, I can approach a girl, and not always. Like I still chicken out quite often, but um, a lot of times I can approach a girl that most people would be too scared to approach, and literally begin a conversation um, based off a compliment and explaining that's the reason I approached. And no, I'm not doing it at a party. No, I'm not doing it drunk. I can do it like sober in the daytime. But yeah, overall, I would say um, you can't give a crap about what people think about you. There's a certain, the optimal level in my opinion is to a point where you don't really give a crap, but you still have that like little grain of salt. So when you're doing something quirky or weird, you notice it, and you notice people's reactions so you can fix it. Because if you have no sense whatsoever, you'll be like my friend at the kitchen store. And I see a lot in elderly people, my grandparents too. They have no sense at all of what other people think about them. I don't know if it's because of their age or because of if they're special, but I see in other elderly people too. Maybe it's because once you get old, I really feel like that's the scary part. Once you get to 60 or 70 years old, you're like stuck in that mindset. Like you can't even change yourself even if you wanted to, because you've done it for so long. And it's really scary. I see it in a lot of old people. They'll do stuff and they're confident, and they've learned to not give a crap what other people think. But the scary part is they can't change anymore. They're stuck in that mindset, and that's why I see a lot of old elderly people also do a lot of quirky, weird stuff at times. Not always. The majority of the time, they come off really chill and stuff. And the thing is, they never learn to fix it. They consistently do this stuff, um, and they don't even notice it's wrong. And I guess that's the beauty of youth. Like, you can sort of change this stuff. Like, for me, I really feel like I've done some weird stuff that I've learned from. Um, I remember approaching a girl, and right after, I just froze up, and I was like, and then I started making like a statement about her because I was sick of asking questions all the time, and I got too robotic, and I asked too many. I said too many statements, and it freaked her out, and then I blew myself out, and she's like, I gotta go. Um, but yeah, it's something I was aware of and I can fix. But certain people can't do that when they don't really even notice these things they're doing wrong. So um, I would say the vast majority of this audience that's watching this video, you fall into the average, and the average is below the point where you don't give a crap about what people think. The ideal point. I really think that's the point where a lot of people are really confident, and it's perfect because they have that balance where they don't give a crap. At the same time, they can fix a little bit of stuff when they are doing something wrong. Most people are at the point where they're like they're just normal, and um, they'll act like they don't care about what people think, but they do, and then they're nervous. And I guess the biggest exception to this rule would be hot girls, because hot girls, like, you'll see it a lot. These hot girls they'll be like, oh my gosh, like, a lot of them are actually very self-conscious. They'll be like, oh my gosh, I hope you didn't see that. Oh my gosh, should I wear this dress or this dress? And they'll go into a venue, and they'll really very much care what certain guys will think about them. And it won't really matter for them because they're hot girls. So um, regardless of these stupid things that they think everyone cares about, um, they're still going to get success. The guys are still going to be interested in them, and so forth. But for the rest of us, um, it's really beneficial to think this way, in my opinion, as of this moment. Just not just in terms of dating, in life in general, um, because it just holds you back. I remember a lot of times in class and stuff. By the way, this is a developed skill. I wasn't born like this. I was born the opposite, like super self-conscious, and I'm still working on it. But I would say in class is when, like, I learned to do this in class long time ago, like many years ago, back when I was in high school. I would pretty much just not give a crap what people think because I wanted that A in class. I remember this was like 6 years ago in advanced placement English. I remember times when, like, okay, it was like the first semester of English class, and I had unfortunately zoned out in class for like a few seconds, and I'd missed something important the teacher had said. And I pretty much raised my hand immediately, and I was like, I'm sorry, did you say to put the folder into the papers, and and I pretty much said something that made no sense, but still the message was there. the message was that I didn't really hear what she said, and I would love her to repeat it. And I didn't give a crap that I had screwed up my speech and stuff, because I really wanted I really wanted this important information, and I said it with confidence, even though I screwed up what I was saying. And from there, like a lot of people would have been like, "Oh my gosh, I screwed up. I stumbled over my words. None of my words made sense, even though the message was there. None of my words made sense, and everyone's looking at me now, and I'm so embarrassed." I didn't think that way. I didn't give a crap what other people thought about me, and even if they were making fun of me, who gives a crap? And because of that difference, um, like there's like some very attractive girls who were in that class, and they started laughing because it was really funny, and they actually interrupted the teacher to help me answer my question because I zoned out. And I rarely zoned out in English, but when you're taking so many advanced placement classes, you kind of do. And so, unfortunately, I had only brought that in academia, and I had only done that for the reason of getting good grades. I had not given a crap in that area simply because I didn't give a crap what others thought, even if they made fun of me. Um, and that was the wrong thought process, and it screwed me over later in life because um, I ended up going into certain classes later in life, and I was lazy about it, and I was like, oh, it doesn't really matter if I get A in this class or not. And then all of a sudden my personality changed, and I was this shy sort of guy again who cared what other people thought about him. And sure, it helped me a lot in academia, but when I wasn't looking for the A, or when I was just relaxing and there was girls around, um, it was different. I was myself again, who cared about what other people thought, and I could only turn that on when I was in class and I wanted that A, and I only didn't really care what other people thought because even if they made fun of me, I wanted that A so bad. And really, the thought process to bring that to every area of your life is it's a slight difference. It's I don't really care what other people think about me. I'm going to be confident in myself, even if I stumble or make a fool out of myself. Not because I don't care what other people think, and I don't care if they're making fun of me. It's because even if they make fun of me, it doesn't matter, because I know how cool I am myself. I know how awesome I am myself. And if you bring that into other areas of your life, you're not looking at it like, oh, I'm scared this guy's going to make fun of me, or whatever. You're just like, I'm super cool. I have to have confidence in myself. You should be proud of who you are. If you're not proud of who you are, you have to accomplish that. And I really was in terms of academia. And it's not because I was born smart or born Asian. A lot of people get that wrong. In a lot of ways, I am dumber than your average Joe. But the difference was that I put in the work because I wanted that result. And because of that, I was the guy who was studying while other people were not studying all the time. And that really sets the difference. I really think that's the hugest misconception with Asians. They're not really, a lot of them aren't really that smart. They're just hard workers. That's all I gotta say. Thanks for watching. Sorry about my voice. I think I have a cold. If you watched this whole thing, leave in the comments that you did. I really appreciate it. And thanks for watching. As always, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Peace.